Hey everyone, Once Bitten here. So we get to Game 4 of Brawler Bash 2017. My Kingdom of Equitaine dudes against some Dread Elves. This guy's actually in my club, and actually he's a twin brother of the guy that actually owns this army that I've played a lot in my battle report. So you've seen this guy play but with a different army, and you've seen this army play with a different player. Anyway, I look at his list and I'm really torn about it. One, when I see big hordes of elite elvish troops, I cringe because my knights do not do well against that. However, one of the reasons I brought 60 archers and 2 trebuchets was exactly in case I went against a list like this, so I could hopefully just absolutely wreck those big hordes of fragile elves before we actually had to fight. So let's see how that turned out. Starting on the far right, he's got 5 Dark Raiders. He's got 30 Tower Guard with a Prince of Nabh in there, and he's got the Headsman's Axe, the Crimson Armor. So this dude's just killy as anything, and then after he gets a couple wounds through, he's basically got a 1 or 2 up armor save. The Kraken behind him, I've never seen anybody use. Those things just seem nasty to me. Strength 7, multiple wounds, I think D3 wounds. I mean, those things, why are more people not taking them? There's probably something I just don't know. Anyway, scares me. He's got a bunch of these witches, I guess, with his BSB on a divine altar in there. Harpies behind him, harpies to the left. He's got some more Dark Raiders, and then I'm so tired of this unit. It's such a good unit. 11 Dread Knights with his general. His general has the +3 strength sword. So this guy's got super high initiative, super high weapon skill, +1 to hit. So he's hitting on 2s, and he's strength 7. Just ugh. So hard to deal with. Anyway, some more Dark Raiders, and then another Kraken, represented by a very cool model behind him. On the right, I've got my Lord on Pegasus, not my general, for both these lists. Just look in the description. He's kind of guarding my right flank. I just didn't want Dark Raiders to get all the way behind my lines. It's such a hassle having to deal with that. Then I've got my 15 Knights Aspirant. Then my Peasants with the Reliquary. Behind them are my 2 Trebs. I put them right across from those hordes. Right across. And I think I dropped my whole army first. I don't remember, actually. Anyway, my Quested Knights, my Battle Standard Bearer, and my Damsel are in there. I've got my General on the Pegasus, and right next to him I have the huge unwieldy unit of Pegasus Knights. So if you look at Vanguard, it looks like that. And yeah, so I must have deployed first because I actually got to go first. So yeah, for the most part, I'm not moving up very aggressively. I move up a little bit with my general. I want him to threaten those knights on the far left. I don't see me getting that charge being a huge deal for me because he just sacrifices a champion first turn, and after that his general easily kills my general. But nevertheless, I want to pose some kind of threat. On the left, I screw up with my Peg Knights, and I move him just a little bit, and move them just barely enough that his fast calf can get around their flank. I hate when I do that. I hate when I play. I really, really dislike that. We go to the magic phase, and some direct damage spell kills 3 of the Dark Raiders, so doesn't help a whole lot, but whatever. Then we go to shooting phase, and yeah, I think one of my Trebs misses, one of them hits with a low strength shot, and then all of my archers go, and I don't know, there's a part of me that thought I would do more, but I'm not going to complain. I've killed, 12 of these gals, and that is not a bad way to start. I'll take it. Alright, so we go to Dread Elves turn 1. On the left, he throws his 2 remaining fast cav up right in the face of my Questing Knights. Personally, I think that's a mistake. I think he doesn't need to chaff me up that early, and just let those guys just protect him somewhere and chaff up later, but maybe not, whatever. And on the left, yeah, there's me. Why do I do that? Why do I do that? Yeah, that's very frustrating. Go to shooting phase, and these 2 guys, shoot 2 shots or 4 shots at my Questing Knights, actually kill one of them. And we go to Equitaine turn 2. So I need a lot more work out of my archers. I'm certainly not in a rush to go up and do anything. So I actually take my general and my Questing Knights, and I just back up. I take my Pegasus Knights and back up. There's a Kraken off to the left that I'm a little bit worried about. I don't know if I really want to charge with my Peg Knights or not. If I can get a flank on him, I might get enough attacks in that I might kill him. Probably not, and he's going to do some real damage to my Pegs, so I don't really know what I want to do there. And that's a problem. Go to the magic phase, and I don't think anything of significance happens. Go to the shooting phase, and oh my. One of my Trebs misfired and can't shoot this turn or next, or maybe the rest of the game. I don't remember. I think maybe the rest of the game, but the other one hit. And he made his ward save on the Divine Altar, but then just wrecked the unit, and then my archers just let loose on that unit. And oh my, they went to town. It's actually possible that one unit of archers fired on the Tower Guard and did nothing or one wound. The Tower Guard, for some reason, were kind of difficult for me to wound, but these witches, oh my. Oh my. That unit is less scary. Nothing left but a champion. We go to Dread Elves turn 2. And a couple other things happen. One, his Tower Guard tried to charge my Peasants with Reliquary. So I got to stand and shoot, and I think I did like one wound to him. And he put the blessing from the Divine Altar on them so they could re-roll their charge range, and even with that, they failed it. It was kind of a long charge. It really would have... I really don't think I would have liked it. Although, even though he wins a lot, I think I would be steadfast for a while, and I might be able to choose some wounds through with archers. Nah, probably not. Anyway, look at the left. Oh, he needs an 11. He needs an 11 to charge into my Questing Knights, and he makes it. And thank goodness his fast cav were up in the way that he couldn't really get around him. So he could just barely clip me. Thank goodness. Then it forced him to go through that piece of terrain on the left where we're playing as ruins, and he has to take, I don't know, like 6 dangerous terrain, and he fails 3 of them. Just horribly, just great luck for him getting the charge, but horribly bad luck in the dangerous terrain. Now, he doesn't have that many wounds going against me, but the problem is he does have his general, but of course I've got a champion. I think we get a challenge with my champion and his general still gets to attack, and that's just really scary. And there's the failed charge. If he would have made it, whatever, but certainly prefer him not making it. And here we go over here. So it's his general, and then he's got the guy next to him, of course. And of course the supporting attack. So it could be a lot worse. And after combat, it looks like this. So, yeah, he doesn't do too many wounds to me. I think, I could be wrong, I think my champion killed his champion in the challenge. Then his general does 3 wounds to my guys. Or his general does less than that and somebody else does more wounds, something like that. But so I've lost 3 guys total. I actually won combat. And of course he's stuck, but I actually won that combat. So now I'm thinking, oh, this game's looking really good because this unit's about to get countercharged. His witches are pretty much all dead, and I just have to figure out how to deal with the Tower Guard and then those Kraken. So the decision to make here is, do I charge in with my general and with the Peg Knight unit, or just the Peg Knights or just the general? And I really like the idea of taking my general in there. If I take the Peg Knights in, I've got to take a boatload of dangerous terrain tests failing on 1 or 2. I think I lose, I should lose over about a third of the unit or so. Just when I charge in, and then by the time they attack, there may not be that many attacks to give. So all they really do is give me an extra banner. So we go to King of Equitaine turn 3. So I charge my general in, and I just fly my Peg Knights over their head, because I want them to get away from the Kraken, and then just to start threatening things on the right. But if you look what I did, I put him to where his BSB on the altar can easily charge him. And I don't know what I was thinking. If I was thinking that, that's not a big deal if he does, or if I just wasn't seeing it. I don't know. I also take this dude against the Kraken. And this, I'm really nervous going into it. I need to roll a 6. I need really bad to roll a 6. If I do roll a 6, then I will do somewhere between 2 and 4 wounds. And I'm not sure that's not going to kill him. I think he has 5 wounds. So that means that this thing's probably going to swing on me. And I've got a 1-up rerollable, but he's strength 7, so that doesn't help much. I've got a 5-up ward. He's got a real good chance of killing me. But I don't have, anything I have shooting needs to go with those tower guard, and I don't need this guy getting any closer. In hindsight, I probably should have just waited one more turn because you never know what could have happened. So there's that charge. And they go to the magic phase, and I cast a spell. And hold on, I'm going to go back one. Yeah, I've got like nine guys left. I blow up 2 or 3 knights casting the spell, which was just dumb. And go to the shooting phase. And the treb on the right, I think, turn 2 misfired, can't shoot anymore the rest of the game. And this time the one on the left can't shoot the rest of the game. So that's not ideal. Otherwise, we go to shooting. I shoot the tower guard. I just can't do anything to him. I don't know. I think I worked through all my luck. We go to combat, and I roll a 6, and I do what I do anyway. This thing's sitting on 1 wound left. It comes back and kills my guy. Damn it. Darn it. And then this was really frustrating. So we go in, and for some reason, I just got chicken. I'm like, my guy charges in. My opponent would have to accept a challenge with his general, or his general has to sit out. Either way, it'd be great. And I just chicken out and say, no, I'm not going to issue a challenge. So then my lord kills a single guy in combat. And then luckily his general doesn't do too much damage, but I still lose, I think I lose a guy. Thankfully my questy knights do some wounds, blah, blah, blah. I think it ends up I win. My opponent takes a leadership 6 rerollable and sticks it. I was really frustrated. Now, hindsight being what it is, if I had gotten in a challenge, his general probably would not have killed me. I would have only done 1 wound, probably, and then that would have done D3, and so there's a chance I would have killed him, the chance I wouldn't have. So, that was so, for him sticking was just so frustrating. Because now my general's worthless. He sucks. So, by the way, and my unit on the right is angled such that they can barely clear the archers. But if I put them that way in the table, and they're all the way back at the edge of the table. So if I did that, the movement tray was sticking off the edge of the table, and I was worried that I would hit it and my knights would go flying. So I was very clear with my opponent, like they're angled with the edge, because I have visions of what happened last game where they do this heroic charge and just hit something in the flank and go boom, 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 hit everything in the flank. So that's what I'm setting up there. So this time he tries to charge again with the tower guard, and again the tower guard charge. And if you look at the tower guard, I'm barely doing any wounds to him. I'm getting all these stand and shoots. I'm shooting on my turn, and it just doesn't matter. Yeah, so I think he charged with his... I'll show it. So I think he charged with the tower guard and with the harpies, and he made it with the harpies. Like, that's ideal for me because... hopefully I could beat these guys in combat and get them fleeing or off the table or whatever on my opponent's turn, and just sit there and shoot again at the tower guard. Charges Dark Raiders in the unit on the left. He's hoping just to hold him up. I'm thinking I should kill him or at least beat him through combat res. And same thing there. Just get rid of that unit on my opponent's turn. So actually digging all this stuff. He charges his BSB into my Pegasus Knights. He had to kind of clip because he had harpies in the way over here. It's not ideal. I'm not super concerned about it. We go to the shooting phase, and he kills a couple knights. Not ideal, but I'm not super concerned about it. And yeah, after combat, this is his BSB Divine Altar beats my Peg Knights, and I flee. Luckily, I get away, but I'm kind of kicking myself right there. And then after combat with these guys, yeah, my peasants, I think, kill his Dark Raiders, and then they just kind of pivot just so they can shoot at Tower Guard. That's their job in life, is to shoot at that Tower Guard. And, of course, over here, now this time, it's hard to appreciate through what I'm saying, but so far, you should have noticed there's a lot of spells been floating around. My Damsel's really been doing a lot of work keeping these combats going. I mean, a lot of times after combat, I've removed the spell markers, but those peasants and my knights, everybody over here has been doing a lot better in combat just because they've been buffed. Well, this time around, I decided to issue a challenge with her. So I sacrificed her because I figured otherwise this general was just going to kill the rest of my questy knight unit, and if I didn't do that, between my general and the questy knights, surely they can kill the last knights in his Dread Knights, and they couldn't. So that's very frustrating. Yeah, there's these guys with their pivot. And then we go to my turn. And I'm looking at these guys. I'm like, okay, they need to roll an 8. I'm gonna pop back 1, 2. If they can roll an 8, they will hit his general on the flank. I will have a champion to accept the challenge. I should crush them through static combat res. Then I can overrun, and I will hit that Divine Altar, and I'm going to crush it through static combat res, and then I'm going to overrun and hit the front of the Kraken. And we're going to do that combat in the next turn, but that's the best way. Oh, like, it worked. It worked. I love these guys. They need an 8 on Swift Stride, and because they're all Knights Aspirant, they can re-roll it. And they fail. I was so frustrated. I didn't take any pictures through my turn. On my turn, the archers wanted to shoot at the Kraken to peel that last wound off, but I'd had to decide, do I shoot the last remaining witch before he hides her away? I think he was keeping her around in case he needed her for something. Do I shoot her and so I get those points, or do I shoot the Kraken? And I shot her. Yeah, and otherwise the night combat, everything is just carrying on. So, oh, this game took such a bad turn. So on the right, the Kraken with 1 wound remaining, just 1 wound. And Dark Raiders charge my Knights Aspirant. I'm actually hoping that we can do something there. The Tower Guard charge my Peasants, and they fail the charge. They fail the charge for the 3rd time this game. And they still are hardly missing any models. For some reason, whenever my Peasants shoot at the Tower Guard, I just can't hit anything. So frustrating. He's got a unit of Harpies charge my Trebuchet. I think he charged 1 last turn, too. They're dead to me, whatever. And then on the left, a Kraken charges my Question Knights BSP, and that spells the end of that unit. And his Divine Archer charges my Pegasus Knights on the left. He charges Dark Raiders on the other side of him, which actually I was happy about because it gives me a chance to do some wounds, actually. But overall, of course, that isn't a good thing. I think he failed 1 dangerous terrain, taking his Divine Altar in there. Oh, this just... Oh. If I can just sneak 1 wound through, sneak 1 wound through. The spell attribute is still on these guys, I think from before my Damsel died, I think. So at least they're cold-blooded. That cold-blooded rule has been a godsend this game. There's the Kraken. That is not good. Here's the Peg Knights getting sandwiched. And after combat, yeah, well, the Peg Knights killed all but 1 of the Dark Raiders, so that was really nice. I did a lot better than I thought I was going to do, so I'm actually kind of okay here. I don't know who won combat or not, but very happy about that. Over here, I couldn't sneak the 1 wound through, but we were steadfast because I have monstrous ranks. Not ideal. I've got 1 more chance to get the Kraken. I've got 1 wound. And then over here, yeah, he just crushes my knight. Oh, it was heartbreaking. Oh, darn it. So this Kraken overruns into the flank of my archers, and his general pursues my general. I think my BSB and Question Knights were all dead, and I think this guy caught my general and killed him. Very, very frustrating. And yeah, my knights couldn't sneak the wound through. These guys, I think, the Kraken kills the Peasants, wins. I'm steadfast. I break, and he catches me, runs me down. These guys pass their panic test, darn it, but they're, of course, Leadership 8, and they get charged by the Kraken in the flank. Meanwhile, over here, I actually win combat. What is going on here? So I win combat. The Dark Raiders are dead. I pursue the Divine Altar, and it gets away. I'm like, darn it. Darn it, darn it. I needed that. Dang it, I needed that. Well, the Peasants could hold no more. The Tower Guard finally decided to complete a charge. These guys were so afraid of my Peasants. Look at them. He's only missing 5 models. Those guys, it's funny because they couldn't make a charge, but they withstood shooting and just shrugged it off. And we go to my last turn. I charge his Divine Altar. I fail dangerous terrain and lose my champion in the progress. Hopefully just to win through combat res, because I don't think I'm going to kill it. And I don't. We go to the Dark Dread Elf turn 6, and we're in a pillow fight with the Divine Altar and the Peg Knight. and otherwise it looks like that. Oh, this game aged me 10 years. It was really discouraging. It was really discouraging. I mean, I think I made a mistake. I think my general has to challenge and try to kill his general. Hindsight being what it was, I probably wouldn't have killed him, and he would have killed my general after that, but my general was worthless after that anyway. I think that was a big mistake. I think taking the other Lord level guy into the Kraken, I think probably what I should have done is just ignored the Tower Guard for a turn and tried to put just a wound or two on it. With a couple wounds on it, my guy has a real good chance of killing that thing. But if nothing else, I think I think I should have waited with that guy. Maybe even never gone in and taken him somewhere else. Yeah, there are probably other mistakes as well. Man of the match, I have to give it to the Damsel. This battle report doesn't do it justice because I know I don't go through the magic phases in great detail. It's just too hard for me to keep track of all the details. But she almost wins by default because the Question Knights were a close second. I thought they held their own for as well as they could. But the archers I thought about because they just wrecked that witch elf unit. But this lady, man, she was buffing my units left and right. I don't like that she blew up my Question Knight unit that one time, but her buffs and the lore attribute from that path really made a difference. And then to take one for the team and issue a challenge to tie up the Dreadlord, yeah, I have to give it to her. Anyway, that's it. Thank you so much for watching the video. I truly hope you enjoyed it. As you know, YouTube has a variety of functions you can use to interact with videos such as this. You can like or comment on the video, you can favorite it, you can share it, and of course you can subscribe to the channel. And I encourage you to do any or all of those things as a way of interacting between viewer and producer. As always, I appreciate your patronage on the channel and wish you all the best.